podcast about something where each week we dive deep into whatever it is we find interesting. I'm your host, Kalvin, and joining me from the Reefside High School Science Lab, it's your co-host, Nick Richardson.
What's happening? It's sciencey up in this bitch.
Yeah, you thought I was going to say from Angel Grove, but I went the other way.
Well, then my brain was just like, okay, so what's the other one? Reefside was the first one that came to mind just because I've been watching a lot of this shit.
Yeah, I was going to go with Angel Grove, and then because I couldn't think of what the other city was, even though I have it in my notes, but I didn't want to scroll through to find it in the 3 seconds I was taking to lead into the intro, and then I thought of it at the last second. I was like, yes, I could say Reefside.
Reefside Bistro is all I want to think about. So I'm fucking hungry.
If you didn't read the title of this episode, we are talking about Dr. Tommy Oliver.
Yeah, get
from
the doctor.
Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. Yeah.
Put some respect on this man's name. He's changed lives, Kalvin.
He's changed lots of lives. Jason David Frank, our boy. Friend of the show, really, is what we call him.
Sorry, Jason, but you're a shitty actor.
In anything other, but in Power Rangers, he pulls it off.
It works. I mean,
yeah, I'll say it works.
His dialogue is so terrible. There was one line, it was so awful, but it made me laugh. This copy's gonna kick your butt. It's like, what?
Zeo and Turbo are very bad.
Oh my, Turbo is horrendous.
The first season, I think he does really well. I think he does better than some of the other people in the first season. And then, he has some rough patches here and there. I think he did good in the movie.
I love the movie.
Yeah.
I mean, he was great in the movie. It seemed
in Mighty Morphin Power Rangers movie, not in the Turbo. Nobody did good in the Turbo movie. Everybody who's involved in the Turbo movie should just not ever have a job again.
Dang, Kalvin, just bust up, some illegals.
Ending careers here today.
Taking jobs.
I thought it was really good in Dino Thunder when he came back. I thought that was his best acting. Now,
maybe.
His martial arts had fallen off quite a bit by then, though. You could tell he was old and slow.
He, like I said, I think I mentioned it on the podcast before, but when I was at C2E2, fucking 2019, God, it's been forever since I've been to a
seems like it's 18 years ago, but really it's only 2.
Fucking eternity. This will go down in history. But anyway, I saw Jason David Frank, and he looked like dog shit. Yeah. I think he kind of lets himself go in the off season when they're not recording. So, I mean, this man was packing some poundage.
I mean, he hasn't been in an episode since Megaforce, I think, in the legendary battle or whatever it was.
Was that 2018?
I want to say 2017, 2016, 2017.
Either
I think
way.
Megaforce was 4 shows ago.
It's hard to keep track.
Yeah, they're on. I know we're totally losing our Power Rangers credentials right now, but they're on Dino Fury or Dino Charge right now. I think Dino Charge is what it is. Beast Morphers was before that, and then I think there was something else in between Beast Morphers and Megaforce, but I could be wrong. If you want to find out for real, we covered all of Power Rangers from beginning to end in a 3-part mega episode back in May of 2020, so we should probably remember that. It was only a year ago. But we don't, so.
That a year? Dude, it's been a long fucking year.
Yeah.
It's been a long year, brother.
I think I just black out on that. The whole 3 hours that we did is just a complete blank space in my mind.
I felt so raw afterwards. It was just just word vomited for 3 hours about Power Rangers.
It's a really fun episode, or 3 episodes if you go back and listen, but it was a kind of a rough recording.
Yeah, I mean, it was 3 hours is a long time.
Yeah.
It's 11:30 when we were done. It's fuck, I can be up at 4 in the morning.
It reminds me of when Eric and I did the Avengers Infinity War episode. It was right after Infinity War came out. So he had seen it first and we didn't talk about it, and then I saw it. So I called him and we just talked about it for a little bit. And I was like, hey, let's go ahead and record the episode when I get back to my hotel. And so then we recorded it. At first we talked about it for 20 minutes, got most of our thoughts out. So then we recorded an actual episode for another hour 15, whatever. And then there was something wrong with the audio, so we had to re-record it. So then by the 3rd time we're now having this conversation, it just felt completely mailed in.
I mean, yeah. That's a rough go of things, man.
Yeah. So hour 3 of the Power Rangers mega episode might not be as good as hour 1. But who knows?
Who knows?
There's no way to tell, really.
It's impossible.
So what are the Power Rangers? They are the greatest kids show about teenage karate fighting superheroes with cool weapons and dinosaur robots ever created.
Literally. Shit is dope.
Better than Beetleborgs, better than VR Troopers, and better than Kamen Rider. Come at me.
My first words were Powers and Troopers for VR Troopers and Power Rangers.
I don't remember. So VR Troopers is something that is hard to find now.
Show. Oh, yeah.
It was on Netflix for a while, and I never rewatched it. Like, I tried to rewatch Beetleborgs at one point, and like just couldn't do it. I couldn't even make it through the first episode, but I did I wanted to give VR Troopers another try, and I can't find it now. And like, because those are the big three when I was a kid of watching those. Like, those three were on a block together, and I would watch them all the time.
Oh yeah, I mean, I still have the Beetleborgs Borgs somewhere.
Yep. I've got a few of them. They're all broken though. None of them are fully intact because they would have these little they'd have like the soft plastic parts on them too, and all the soft plastic parts would break off.
Sons of bitches. Had all these Zords too. If I still had that shit, I'd be rich as fuck. Oh my god.
Like 2 Chainz.
Dude.
Does
he still have all those Power Rangers?
Now look at us. All my dudes are rich as fuck.
Yeah.
You never heard that song?
There you go, Kalvin.
Yeah.
No, I haven't.
So this is the real explanation from Wikipedia of what the Power Rangers are. It's an American entertainment and merchandising franchise built around a live-action superhero television series based on the Japanese Tokusatsu franchise Super Sentai. Produced first by Saban Entertainment, second by BVS Entertainment, later by Saban Brands, and today by SCG Power Rangers and Hasbro. Power Rangers television series takes much of its footage from the Super Sentai television series produced by the Toei Company. The first Power Rangers entry, Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, debuted on August 28, 1993, and helped launch the Fox Kids programming block of the 1990s, during which it catapulted into popular culture along with a line of action figures and other toys by Bandai. By 2001, the media franchise had generated over $6 billion in toy sales.
What? Their toys are hot, though, let me tell you. Those things are dope.
I always think like my Power Rangers collection's done, and then they release something new that I'm like, yeah, I gotta have that too.
I haven't even started the collection because I will buy them all. Well, I'll buy at least 10 that I really, really like, and that's a lot of money. That's like $200.
Well, so I didn't watch anything past like Lost Galaxy, and I have a lot of the stuff from Mighty Morphin already. So I'm like, well, I'm not gonna care about anything else. But then they keep re-releasing Mighty Morphin stuff in different with different looks a little bit, and I'm like, okay, I gotta get this too. Okay, I gotta get this too.
They get the sculpts a little bit.
They made a Mighty Morphin Power Rangers versus Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles comic book. Got it.
Righteous.
Yeah. So, gotta do that. Nick, can you tell us a little bit about who Tommy Oliver is before we get into his different Ranger forms?
Tommy Oliver, he's a dude named Tommy.
Fair. Last name Oliver.
Yeah. He has a ponytail, and he's played by Jason David Frank. So Tommy Oliver is the quintessential fucking homeboy. Like, everybody loved this cat. He was the new kid at Angel Grove, and he first appeared in episode 17 of season 1, Green with Evil, part 1, Out of Control.
I gotta pause you for just a second.
You son of a bitch.
No, you're doing a great job, but it made me think of something else here. New kids in TV and movies, so like if it's a new guy, he's always like the coolest guy, right? The new kid that comes in to the high school, always the coolest dude. And if it's a girl, it's always the hottest girl is the new girl. Did you every year going into school think like, okay, who's the new kid gonna be? Are they gonna be really cool or really hot girl?
No, because I never had that luck really. That happened one time in like 6th grade, but other than that, like new kids were the weirdos.
Yeah, I don't know that I'll go that far. To me, they're always like just normal, which I think like in the world most people fall on the bell curve in the normal area.
Yes.
So, but every year, like during the summer, like the week before school would start, it would always be in my mind like, oh, we're gonna get some new kids this year. They're gonna be cool people and hot girls, and like you said, they just never were. I finally gave up on it like when I went to high school and I was in the Catholic school because there were no new kids coming into the Catholic school.
They were losing kids.
Except me in 9th grade.
Oh, man, that's a
shout out
hand.
Me.
Yeah, it's a shit hand, dude.
Hey, and I was the coolest in the school, so there we go.
fucking bet. You're the only one that could hoop, and
I
everybody's
was
like, look at this kid. Oh my god.
I was the Tommy Oliver of my Catholic high school.
Gah!
I was evil for a little while, then I turned good.
He started banging all the honeys. And
Yeah.
there you go.
Cannot confirm that. All right, so go back to Tommy Oliver.
So Tommy Oliver, new kid who is big into karate, and he's got the looks. He's a handsome cat. He's got the ponytail. Does he have earrings?
I think so.
Yeah,
that was a big thing. But Zach had earrings too, because Zach was the cool one before Tommy got there.
Yeah, but Zach had the studs, and Tommy had the hoops.
Jason had an earring too.
Probably. He had the little gold
He had
ball.
like a little hoop, yeah.
Yeah, Tommy had the hoops, but he was very into karate. Him and Jason, they fought. Jason won. And Tommy went on to become the evil Green Ranger when he was under the spell of Rita Repulsa. When he was being evil, he kind of turned away the advances of Kimberly, which is the hot girl in school. Fuck, I had a crush on her when I was a kid.
I think everyone did.
Literally everybody. Well, every guy.
I was watching something the other day. Oh, it was Superstore. My wife and I were watching Superstore, and they were talking about like who their first crush, like their celebrity crushes were, right? And the guy says Alyssa Milano because that's everybody else's. It's like either Alyssa Milano or Kimberly from Power Rangers was everyone from the 90s first crush.
Yep. And eventually, I don't know how far you want me to go with Tommy.
Yeah, let's not go too deep because we're going to get into it once we talk about his Rangers. So, yeah, he's student at Angel Grove, brainwashed by Rita, took on 4 different colors as a Ranger throughout the years, green, white, red, and black. And those are going to be our 5 fundamental somethings about something is those 4 plus Lord Draken, which will be the 5th, which is a different thing, alternate timeline version from the comics. And then he's often the de facto leader of the Rangers.
He's known as like the best Ranger of all time throughout every timeline and every like iteration of the Rangers. They're like, oh, fucking Tommy.
Yeah, everybody knows Tom.
My boy Tommy.
Whenever they do these big crossovers, everybody's like, holy shit, Tommy's here?
He's got this stupid little soul patch and he's 25 pounds overweight. They're like, oh my god, that's the best Ranger ever. Look at him. Specimen.
So, I mean, I guess there's kind of spoilers here. Mostly we're going to be pulling our own knowledge from Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, Power Rangers Zeo, Power Rangers Turbo, Dino Thunder, some of the crossovers from later seasons. We're going to be pulling out of the comics, especially the Lord Draken stuff, and most of it is straight from the Power Rangers fandom site or YouTube research. So, I mean, if you don't want to be spoiled on what happens to Tommy, I guess don't listen, but, I mean, it's 25 years old. I think we're okay.
No, you're good. You came here for the nostalgia of it. You want to fanboy over Tommy as much as we are.
Exactly.
My boy Tommy.
So I had just a little bit more background on him. Previously, until the age of 7, Tommy Marshall and his friend Tyler lived on the streets until he left the orphanage to be adopted by his mother. Let's see, we said Tommy's a new student. He's eventually stopped by the Power Rangers and broke Rita's spell. He realizes all the damage he had done, and he felt terrible. Jason assured him it was only because of Rita's spell, so he's good now. He decides to join the Power Rangers. Tommy continues to feel like an outsider afterwards. He's kind of haunted by Rita. He had a brother, David, at one point, who was adopted by Sam Trueheart.
Yeah, and it was actually his real brother in real life that played him.
I thought it was like him. I thought they did the thing where both of them were him.
I'm pretty sure it's his real brother.
It might be. I don't remember watching that episode recently. The two did not meet until later in their teen. I think it was during Zeo or maybe even Turbo that they met for real on screen.
For real.
Karate. Yeah, I think that's it.
He's like hella into karate.
Yeah. And you said season 1, episode 17, right?
Correct.
His first appearance. That was October 5th, 1993.
God damn, I feel so old.
Yeah, we're old. I'm old. You're younger.
28, bro.
Yeah, I'm older. Not gonna say it. You guys have to figure that out for yourself. So let's
Let me
move
guess.
into
Hold on. 33.
Not gonna say. The 5 fundamental somethings about Tommy Oliver. We're gonna go through each Color Ranger and Lord Draken. So let's start with the Green Ranger. While he was a freshman in high school, Tommy and his family moved to Angel Grove. He entered a martial arts tournament and fought Jason to a tie by a 4x4, despite Jason being labeled as Angel Grove's finest martial artist by the announcer. Fight had earned him Jason's respect, even though he didn't win.
I mean, Jason definitely won. He fucking tagged his bitch ass.
The wildest thing I could get from this is that these 35-year-olds are not only in high school, but they're freshmen in high school in season 1. That's ridiculous.
I mean, Jason's fucking jacked, dude. He's hitting some roids.
Kimberly is the only one who, like, can possibly pull off that she's an actual high schooler.
Possibly.
Billy looks like he's 40. Jason and Zach and Tommy all look like they're in their mid-20s, and Trini looks like she's 30 at least.
Maybe 35.
Yeah, but Kimmy, you could say is a teenager, but really I'd peg her for like 20 to 25 also.
Yeah, I can see that.
It's always wild, like, thinking they're in high school and then they're in high school for 3 seasons of Power Rangers.
I mean, that's how it always goes with these things.
Well, yeah, because it's easier to hire 20-year-olds because you don't have to worry about like child labor and all that stuff.
Well, and paying them. Like, hey, you're
right.
poor. You want to make some money? Like, fuck yeah, dude, I'll do whatever.
As the Green Ranger, his Zord was the Dragon Zord. What about his weapons? What weapons did it use?
Oh, fuck me. He had the Dragon Dagger, which was also the flute, which he used to call. Oh, fuck yeah, that tune. Which he used to call the Dragon Zord. True. And he also had the shield.
The Dragon Shield, yeah.
Yes, which I'd technically call that a weapon because it increased his power.
Yeah, no, it's definitely a weapon. It like contained the green power coin power, as you said. He also, while he was evil, had the Sword of Darkness, which we can't forget about.
That's right, which also was referred to, what is it, the Sword of, it's the Sword of Darkness and the Sword of something else.
Green power.
Source of these nuts.
Yeah.
Ayo.
So now we're just going to go through some other interesting things that Tommy did while he was a Green Ranger. What do you got? Start us off hot here.
Well, I mean, he totally cuckolded the entire Power Rangers team. They're sus, bro. I don't know what really most of that means. But he managed to break free of Rita Repulsa's strength, whatever you want to call it, her spell, which I gotta say, that's pretty big feat on its own.
Well, yeah, I mean, she was luring him in. She gave him the dragon coin. She made him evil, she brainwashed him, more or less, filled his head with all these illusions of grandeur, and gave him the Sword of Darkness, which, here's what it is. It not only enhanced his dark powers, but also acted as a catalyst to keep him under her evil spell. So, yeah.
Poor son of a bitch. And I mean, he basically ends up saving the rest of the Rangers when Rita Repulsa acquires the Dragon Dagger. Mm-hmm. And, a whole bunch of convoluted stuff goes down. But
yeah, Tommy, I mean, that's how most of these talking points are going to end. Or like the middle of them is just going to be like a bunch of convoluted shit happened, and then Tommy did this to fix it. Basically,
he, had the power coin, and they find Tommy again, and he's able to turn into the Green Ranger just long enough. Zordon, kind of supplementing his power to fight Rita, and they win, bro. They fucking win.
Yeah. So then, they invite him to be a ranger. He's a ranger. His friendship kind of blooms with everyone, especially Kimberly, except Jason.
His friendship
that takes a little bit longer for Jason to come around. So Zordon is aware of this problem between he and Jason, and he sends the two of them on a mission to recover these special blasters protected by Titanus. Which Titanus is whack. I'm sorry.
Dude, they're all whack. Rita Repulsa.
Not the name Titanus, like the actual Zord Titanus. That's the big Brachiosaurus thing that the rest of the Zords fit inside. I never liked it.
Hater. Fucking hater.
So while they're going to get the special blasters from Titanus, they form a deep bond and begin teaching martial arts together as well as competing together in competitions. Tommy learned a lot of Jason's leadership skills, which would help him down the road as he would more or less become the leader once Jason's gone.
Yeah, I mean, he kicks Jason out. He's like, bye, see ya in Switzerland, loser. I'm going to stay here with Kim and take over your job. This dude's a red-blooded American. Let me throw that out there.
He even takes Jason's color.
He does, twice.
Yeah, it's rough. Then we got the Saga of the Green Candle, which, that was the source of his power.
Yes. As long as it was burning, as it burned, he lost power. So as long as it wasn't
material
burning,
that had once encased Tommy and turned him evil was actually magic wax. Yes. And then they turned that into a candle. Rita was able to ensure that as the candle burned, his powers would fade away. That's what it was.
Yeah, and if he's closer to it, it steals his power faster.
It's faster, yes. And if it burnt out, she could take his powers back from him.
Well, it's just gone forever.
No, it says she could reclaim his powers if it burnt out.
Man, fuck.
I did the research here, Nick. I know what I'm talking about.
Bullshit. You're reading it right off the thing. You're like, hey, it says right here.
Well, yeah. I'm doing the research. Anyway. Yeah, Tommy. So they put it in the dark dimension. Jason's got to go there to stop the candle from burning. He's unable to do so because Goldar beat his ass. Tommy's out there using his strength against the Cyclops monster. Jason and the other Rangers have to come back to help him, and as they're doing that, the green candle burns out. But Zordon was able to transfer the coin to another Ranger to prevent Rita from taking it. So Tommy gives the dragon coin to Jason, and then he gets to have the dragon shield, which is pretty dope, and can control the Dragon Zord.
Pretty dope. Well, Tommy actually gives it to Jason.
Didn't I say that?
No, I said Zordon gave it to him.
No, I
correct you, homie.
I said Zordon figured out that he could, and then I said he. I played the pronoun game, right? I said he. I meant Tommy, not Zordon, but sorry. I'm sorry, everyone. It was Tommy that gave it to Jason.
Sorry, guys.
Tommy does everything right. Tommy is the best.
He is, bro. He is.
It's Tommy. I can't believe it.
It's fucking Tommy, my boy Tommy.
At one point, he gives the dragon shield to Zach somehow, too. I don't remember how that went down.
I don't either, but he looks rad with it.
Yeah, I have the Lightning Collection one of that, which is great.
Man, I gotta get that.
I remember when, so I have all the head flipping ones.
Nice.
And those were the ones that I got when I was a kid. Yeah, and I would take the dragon shield and I would put it on each of them separately and play these elaborate storylines where each of them got the dragon shield.
And you get a dragon shield, and you get a dragon shield.
Yeah, I should have just bought 5 Tommies, and then everybody could have had their own. That would have been dope.
Hey, Tommy, where's my dragon shield?
So Tommy has to say goodbye to everyone, but they assured him, hey, we're going to see you at school every day. We're going to do karate with you. We're still going to be friends, dude.
Kim's like, we'll still bang. It's whatever.
So yeah, even though he wasn't the Green Ranger, he still remained friends with the rest of the Rangers and maintained a relationship with Kimberly, which is important.
I mean, that's like the antithesis of the entirety of Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. It's like, what's going to happen? What's going to happen with Kim and Tommy?
It really is. Like, the whole first 3 seasons are pretty much, when are these two going to bone?
Yeah.
When are these two 40-year-olds going to bone?
They look drastically different in age, so I'm a little worried. I might call someone. I don't know.
So actually, Tommy briefly returned to the Rangers with limited power until Lord Zed arrived and destroyed the Dino Zords. So that made Zordon create the Thunder Zords from the remnants, but Tommy did not get a Thunder Zord.
Well, I mean, Zordon just couldn't keep up with all of that because it was just draining his power so fast.
Right. So tell us about what ended the Green Ranger.
The candle burnt up.
No, because after the candle burnt up, there was more. Because he could keep coming back in a limited supply. Like, he would come back every once in a while, I guess, because there was probably a Green Ranger in the Sentai footage. So they had to give him a reason to come back, even though they told his story out.
Yeah, I suppose.
So the real end, the end, Lord Zed, best villain in all of Power Rangers. Just gonna throw that out there.
Ivan Ooze.
Does Ivan Ooze count though? Like, the Power Rangers movie is not even canon within the Power Rangers universe.
What?
They retold the whole story in season 3 of how they got their ninja powers. They're just like, nah, fuck that movie. We don't care.
See, I always thought they was like concurrent stories.
It was, but they go to Ninjor and get the ninja powers all over again.
Fucking miss Ninjor. He was dope.
Yeah, Ninjor was great. Still mad at my nephew that has my Ninjor toy from when I was a kid.
Better get that shit back.
I won't. My mom gave it to him as a Christmas present because she just like found some old shit in her attic and wrapped it up and gave it to us as presents. And she gave me like some Pogs, and he got the fucking Ninja.
Yo, I would have been so pissed.
I can't take a Christmas present from a 3-year-old.
Fuck that kid.
I want to, but I can't.
He won't even remember that shit.
Oh no, he plays with that shit all the time.
Oh, he'll forget about it here in a week.
So Zed kidnaps 5 teenagers, plans to use Tommy's powers to make them the Dark Rangers. As the area that was guarded against the Rangers, Tommy's the only one who can go destroy the crystal that held his powers. He succeeds at this and uses his powers for the last time to morph and destroy Zed's monster. Tommy's saddened that the Green Ranger powers are now truly gone forever, but he had known that this time would eventually come. So he uses because he's got this limited power for like, I don't know, the first half of the second season, I want to say, where he's just coming back spotty as the Green Ranger. And
keep
then
lighting up that candle.
Yeah.
So just
the candle is gone at this point, Nick.
Stop it. Fucking candle. No, it's not, because they end up fighting like close to the candle. That's why it starts burning out faster, and then it's completely gone at the end of this fight.
That's in the first time, and then the candle burns out as he gives the power to Jason, and then Jason relinquishes it as well, but he can come back in a limited supply even though the candle's gone after that.
See, people, see how hard it is to keep track of this timeline?
Yes.
Fucking Tommy.
It doesn't make any sense.
It's all over the place.
So, and then this thing with the Dark Rangers happens, and that sucks the rest of his power out with the Chaos Crystal or whatever the hell they're called.
Dude, a Chaos Crystal. They have like a million iterations of all that weird shit.
A lot of MacGuffins going on in the Power Rangers. But also, and we talked about this on the 3-part mega episode about Power Rangers, is like these guys are taking just pieces of footage of people in costumes doing karate and building whole ass stories around it. And like these weird monsters destroying cities, and they just got to come up with something that fits where this monster came from, why these teenagers are dealing with this type of monster. Like you got to give them some slack.
Oh, I'm totally giving it to them.
And then Sentai would put in all these random ass MacGuffins like Chaos Crystals and green candles, and they'd have to play that in too.
Yeah, they're like, what the fuck is going on? I don't know, but put Tommy in it. It'll be all right. These fucking idiot kids will watch this shit.
If Tommy shows up, everybody will be happy. So let's talk about the White Ranger.
My boy.
Yeah.
Probably
White Ranger's
my
good stuff.
All-time favorite Ranger.
Ooh. It's bold.
Well, Magna Defender is my favorite Ranger. Because he looks the dopest. But, White Ranger, I still got to post it somewhere. I know where the picture's at, but it's me in my White Ranger costume for Halloween when I was like 2. I was probably 3 or 4, actually, doing my karate moves.
Yeah. I had a White Ranger costume as well. I used to think it was a knockoff. Yeah, I thought it was a knockoff my whole life, and then like I saw a video with it, and it was the real deal.
It's a real fucking deal. Mine was a knockoff. It was like it's like a shitty jumper and then a plastic mask.
Well, yeah, it was that, but it was like the actual. I thought it was like White Ninja guy, not
the actual
Power
White Ranger.
Yeah.
I probably would have killed.
You know how they have those, like the knockoff Mario one is plumber guy in red jumpsuit or something like that.
Yeah, the crooked stash.
Yeah. So after the Rangers freed Tommy and the Dark Rangers from Rita's spell, Zordon created the White Ranger powers as a replacement for the depletion of the Green Ranger's energy. So now he is white.
He's created from the white light of good, which is another little MacGuffin deal here. It's like, oh yeah, we'll call it the white light of good. He's basically Christ, comes down from the ceiling like, oh.
He's got that Jesus-like long hair.
For real, they're like, shit, it's Tommy. Oh
New
my
theory.
Christ.
Tommy Oliver is Jesus.
I'm Tommy the White.
He comes back from the dead in the comics, in the Shattered Grid comics. So
Tommy.
Just saying.
The Green Ranger. They used to call me by that name. I am Tommy the White. That's a name I
haven't heard in a long time.
I am Tommy the White. Hey, Kim. What's up?
So tell us about Tommy Zords as the White Ranger.
Dude, he's got the White Tiger Zord. That shit is raw, son. And he's got the White Falcon Zord.
I like the Falcon better than the Tiger. I feel like the Tiger is too big. Too bulky.
It's very square, clunky.
Yeah.
But the fact that they can make like a super Megazord with it, well, they could do that with the Dragon Zord too. Mm-hmm. But I enjoyed my White Tiger Zord action figure, the one that where Tommy was huge and he would ride on it. The White Falcon Zord though was one of the coolest Megazords back in the day, and it also was his Zord in the Power Rangers movie, which was my shit. I watched that.
Yeah, it was so good. It had the rockets coming out of the wings.
Fuck yeah. Well, he could do all kinds of. A train could ride on him. I mean, he called, which was really cool too.
Yeah.
Oh,
the Tiger Zord looked like that Tesla truck that they tried to put out. That was all blocky and shit, you know?
No, it looks like a Hummer H1.
Yeah, that's true too. I mean, big and square was kind of cool in the 90s though. Every SUV was big and square back then.
Well, they didn't really have. This was really weird, but fucking Nelly is playing at the county fair in like 6 weeks. I was talking about a Hummer H1.
Holler out, what you looking at? Or smile for me, Dad.
Hey, Dad, smile for me. He's gonna get that motherfucker.
For more on Nelly and his grills, listen to our last episode all about grills. The song.
I mean, to tell you that.
Artifact.
I heard it on the radio. They're like, Nelly's coming to the county fair. Dope. It's like $10 or something to see him. Anyway, so Tommy Oliver.
So his weapons as the White Ranger was, he only had one weapon. I mean, he had like the blaster and stuff, but everybody had that. His specific weapon was Saga, the White Tiger Saber, who was a sentient being and could just act of his own accord whenever he wanted to.
Yes, he could fly and talk, and he acted as like a boomerang. He defied the laws of physics.
He defied the laws of everything. He gave Tommy advice. He was kind of a snarky asshole to Tommy sometimes, which was always nice.
I could just see Tommy like holding him up to his face like, shut the fuck. Shut, asshole. Starts throwing some uppercuts at his sword.
So clearly you haven't finished Shattered Grid.
I did finish it actually. Okay. I finished it on my camping trip.
Nice. Shattered Grid
at like 4:30 in the morning. It was good.
Yeah.
A lot of big brain words.
Well, all right, we'll talk to it when we get there. We're not there yet. So let's go back to the white light of good. Tommy sees the white light of good while he is swimming at the lake, because like after he loses Green Ranger powers, he goes to his uncle's cabin, off in the woods, and he's just swimming in the lake out there, and a beam of light surrounded Tommy, and he's transported to the command center. Zordon and Alpha there reveal their plans to him of creating a new Ranger, and because the Ranger would be created from the white light of good, it would be impossible for the darkness to control him. So Tommy's the perfect candidate, obviously.
Yeah. It's like, dope, that sounds tight.
Yeah, I'm in. Anything to get me back in those spandex.
I could be a Power Ranger again. They make a shitload of money.
So then I don't think they do.
I mean, they're teenagers in high school. You just get the shit beat out of them. They work at the juice
bar with Ernie.
The juice bar. Get bullied by Bulk and Skull.
Bulk and Skull are dweebs.
Whoa, dude. You seen that cap that Bulk wears? That shit is righteous.
So then the other Rangers get teleported back. Tommy reveals himself to be the new white Mighty Morphin Power Ranger. And the now leader. While Jason is still there.
Sorry, Jason. Sucker. I heard you was a little bitch.
Yeah, Jason, you're doing okay, but we think Tommy's going to be better.
I mean, just look at him, though. He came from the ceiling like Jesus, so...
I mean, he's literally Jesus to the Power Rangers. We're just going to start calling him Tommy Jesus Oliver.
Well, doesn't Kim faint, too, at the same time? Like, when they reveal it's Tommy? Like,
Probably.
that is... No, she definitely does. It's stereotypical as fuck. She's just like, oh, my lantern.
Except, like, they're still all friends. Like, they see each other. It's not like he's been gone for years. He was gone for, like, a week at his uncle's cabin. Who do they think was going to be this new Ranger?
He's been gone for like 4.5 hours. He's like, guys, I fucking had this experience. It was unreal. He's just, they show a scene of him like running around the cabin, tearing shit up, like,
I'm surprised when he gets teleported, he wasn't literally walking across the water on top of it.
That's some
shit. Is that
too
heavy-handed for Power Rangers?
I think if George Lucas was in charge of the Power Rangers, he would hear this and retcon some form of it in the 35th release date.
Could be.
That'd be dope.
So then, later, as we talk about Jason leaving, it's important to point out that during a day of rollerblading in the park, Tommy, Kim, and Billy meet 3 new teens from Stone Canyon High, Rocky DeSantos, Adam Park, and Aisha Campbell.
Rocky's a fucking boner.
Yeah, no one
He's
likes
an
Rocky.
ass face. I hate him. His sword was dope.
They help save their teacher's infant son as he and his stroller almost went downhill. Like, these people rollerbladed for like 6 miles trying to catch that baby.
God, doing their whole thing the whole time. Man, they really made rollerblading look dope.
They did. The Power Rangers and the Mighty Ducks really brought rollerblading to the forefront of the 90s.
Fucking miss rollerblading.
It's making a comeback. I see it all the time. I was talking to some friends the other day. They said they see it in their neighborhoods too.
You guys should throw sticks out everywhere.
Like Big Daddy.
Yeah.
I think that's what killed the rollerblading trend. Is Big Daddy comes out and nobody rollerblades anymore.
I sure as fuck threw a bunch of sticks out in the road and sidewalk trying to fuck with people. I'm terrible. I'm a terrible human being.
So Tommy, Kim, and Billy make quick friends with these three. They surprise when they compete with them in a ninja tournament. Which, like, we're just going around having ninja tournaments. Cool, I guess.
With guys like Rocky DeSantos in it.
So, and as you alluded to earlier, the Teen World Summit comes to Angel Grove, and Jason, Zach, and Trini are chosen as representatives for peace conferences in Switzerland. So they're gone. And in come Rocky, Adam, and Aisha.
I mean, I would leave the Power Rangers getting the fuck beat out of me to go to Switzerland. Yo, sign me up.
Yeah. Well, so in order to do this power transfer, Tommy has to lead everyone to the Sword of Light before Lord Zed can destroy the planet with Serpentera. Sometimes I just like reading these sentences because they mean nothing. There's like a lot of words.
Big brain shit.
Yeah, none of the words mean anything.
Well, there's just so much. There's so much.
Yeah, so obviously they get the Sword of Light in time, transfer the powers, and have you recently watched these episodes in between the transfer of power? Because, like, Jason, Zach, and Trini are gone long before Rocky, Adam, and Aisha take over. So they do these, like, Kim, Tommy, and Billy will just be somewhere, the three of them together, and then they're like, oh shit, we gotta go fight. So those three go fight, and then the other three come in full costume already, because clearly the actors are gone. And then when they do this actual transfer of power, it is the very worst, like, photoshopping in of the backside of their bodies, or like these stand-ins that they tried to make up their backsides look enough like them to be in the command center. It's one of the worst looking scenes in a show that's full of very bad looking scenes.
I have not watched that recently, but I feel like I should now. It sounds like a gift.
It's like 10 episodes probably in between, like, when Aisha, Rocky, and Adam first show up to when they actually get their power. And it's just so weird and ham-fisted how, like, the two halves of the team are always split up. And it's just like, just make these guys the Power Rangers earlier. What are we doing here?
I mean, they had to cut them free because they were on a shoestring budget, even though they're making millions hand over fist type of dollars.
Except they already hired the other actors are there already.
That's true.
So,
just didn't make sense in the Super Sentai footage.
I guess. Whatever.
No, not yet. Don't do it yet. Just hold off. Can you make them come down from the ceiling with a Christ-like pose?
We need a lot of Christ-like poses. So I've got another. Do you have any good Tommy White Ranger moments?
Can I pull from the movie?
Sure.
The whole thing.
Right. Yeah.
The fact he had that side piece on the island, that was pretty sweet White Ranger moment. She was fucking, yes, fine. Oh my God, that was my second crush.
The Power Rangers movies were very good at putting really, really attractive ladies in there.
Because scantily clad many times.
Yeah, scantily clad as well. Because in Turbo we get Divatox in there, and she is even more scantily clad somehow.
She's literally like tits out the whole movie.
She really is.
The whole show, and they're like, they're kids, they won't give a fuck. While we're 7 and 8, like, I think I like boobs. Those are pretty sweet.
Those look pretty cool.
Nice.
Yeah, so Ivan Ooze destroys the original Megazord and Dinozords. We're not using the Thunderzords at all in.
So is Ivan Ooze in the show too?
No.
Okay.
This is all. So in the movie, like in the show when the movie came out, we were already way past the Dinozords, but they were filming concurrently like season 2 and the movie.
Mm-hmm.
So like they didn't know where season 2 would really go yet. And so they're using the they don't even bring the Thunderzords into the movie. They destroy the regular Dinozords and the command center all over again. Then they go to Phaedos, get the spirit of the Ninjetti or whatever the fuck they're doing, and then we get Tommy being the White Falcon Ninja Ranger.
I mean, he's dope. He's got these sweet spin kicks. I forget what he calls it or what he yells out before he does it.
Yeah, is it like White Falcon Tornado Kick or something?
Something like that. That's dope. White Falcon Tornado Kick?
I think it's a Cyclone Kick.
Whatever it is, shout out.
Yeah, in the movie they always had to call out their moves like it's fucking moves. Dragon Ball Z.
Well, hey, don't you badmouth Dragon Ball Z, Kalvin. Still good though, you know. That was probably my favorite moment when they're fighting all those rock creatures.
Yeah.
Like Rocky almost gets killed like 6 times.
That's really what you liked about it. It goes a little Indiana Jones there for a little while, and that's I'm always down for like an Indiana Jones Tomb Raider type thing.
Well, plus the end of the movie, and I agree with you 100%, plus the end of the movie when he's pretty much the only thing that saves everybody.
Does anything. Yeah.
Yeah.
The rest are just like in the Megazord, just like stomping around, kind of fighting with the big ant monster, and Tommy's just flying around in the Falcon, literally doing everything.
So what are you guys doing? I got fucking rockets. What do you got? Oh, I got a fucking tongue, and I can grab onto him. Great, thanks guys, you dicks. Let me go save this train too while I'm at it. The utility. Yeah. It's amazing.
So another one I wanted to point out is Rita, who's now married to Zed, calls upon the Wizard of Deception, and she wanted him to create another Tommy, one that would return to her side as the evil Green Ranger. So he does that, gets some putties to attack Tommy, gets his hair, creates a clone Tommy, basically. We're going full Spider-Man clone saga here.
His name is Tom. Don't get it twisted.
Send all the other Rangers back in time. And so during that time, Tommy, as the White Ranger, has to confront the evil Green Ranger. And Tommy's able to outwit the Green Ranger and found out where the others have been sent back in time. He goes back, retrieves them, brings them all back. Now they can break the spell on the new evil Green Ranger, and they send him back to colonial times, where the other Rangers had been sent. And he kind of serves as this protector of the colonial times. And there is hints that Tommy may have created his own family line by sending Tom back in time. So now Tom creates the Oliver family line that eventually leads to Tommy. So Tommy is his own great-great-great-grandfather.
Yeah, I mean, because Tom fucks.
Oh, yeah.
So
Tom's getting down on some Salem witch trial strange, for sure.
Like, ayo. Hey, ladies. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, very convoluted bullshit there. Very convoluted.
If anyone followed that, congrats. Like, for real.
I mean, I followed it, but my brain is just like,
yeah.
Why do you do these things?
And so to parallel the Ninja Quest that they had in the movie, I also want to mention the Ninja Quest that's in the show. This is where Rito Revolto, Rita's brother, destroys the Thunderzords and the Rangers' power. Again, just they keep destroying the power. Like, you got to protect that shit better, Zordon.
Yeah, I mean, you guys suck. Stop it.
The Rangers now need to search in the Desert of Despair for Ninjor, the maker of the original power coins, and with Ninjor's help, Tommy and the others gain Ninja Ranger powers, which drew on the life force of its Ranger rather than an external source, and would help them in many battles to come.
What I love is that they show up there, and he's like, no, I'm not going to give it to you. And they're like, oh, I guess that's okay. At least we're still Rangers at heart. You know, we can help the people of Angel Grove. We'll be great. And he's like, all right, fam, let me give you this shit. He's got the dumbest voice. Ugh, it's terrible in the show.
Sorry, Ninjor.
Fuck you, Ninjor. Your figures are dope, though.
Yeah. So then Kimberly leaves. She goes to compete in the Pan Am Games and trains in Florida. Tommy starts dating Kat, who was literally a cat at one point. Also an evil, mind-controlled ranger. But that Kimberly turns over her power to Catherine. And then the Alien Rangers come in, and the Alien Rangers come in when Rito and Goldar turn all the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers into kids.
Yeah, Mighty Morphin Alien Rangers.
Yeah, so the Alien Rangers come in to do some world saving while everyone's kids, and the kids have to all go on these vision quests to find their Zeo crystal. And Tommy is sent to a Native American village where he was assisted by a wise sage named True of Heart. With a bird as his guide, Tommy made his way up the mountain where the crystal was. With 3 wrapped crystals in front of him, the false ones which would guarantee Tommy would be stuck. True of Heart helped Tommy look into his heart and find the correct crystal. He also gave Tommy half an arrowhead, saying it would play an important role in his life.
It just so happens his brother has the other half.
Dun dun dun!
Son of a bitch.
Anything else on the White Ranger before we move to the Red Ranger?
This is probably Tommy's best.
Yeah.
It's his most powerful, I would say. His most utilitarian, and I mean, it's the shit. It's iconic. Saba's awesome.
Saba's great.
Saba really is.
This
great.
is really Jason David Frank kind of giving his all too. Like it became his show in like the second half of that second season, the movie, and the third season where they're the Ninja Rangers. Like that, it became about Tommy more than anything.
100%.
Like when the other 3 left, it was just like, okay, they're leaving. When Kimberly left, they made like 5 episodes dedicated to Tommy and Kimberly coming to terms with that.
I'm sorry, I love you. Yeah, this is, I feel like, when Power Rangers really started to take off. Like once they had a mascot, aka Tommy, then it started really fucking getting going.
I just think everybody could mostly identify with Tommy better than Jason or Billy or Zach or Kimberly or Trini. Like they all seemed like very pigeonholed characters, or like what's the word I'm looking for? Like kind of one beat characters, right?
They were terrible.
Well,
that Tommy was so easy to root for.
Yeah, Tommy seemed like he had a little bit of every person's personality worked into him and went with the flow a little bit more. Like Kimberly she was just the gymnast and kind of the ditzy girl. Trini was the smarter but still like she didn't ever like seem strong. Billy was the nerd. Zach was the hip hop keto guy. Jason was the tough guy. And that's it. Like that's where their characters ended. Tommy, it felt like they put a lot more work into his character.
I mean, pretty much the entire storyline of Power Rangers for years revolved around him.
Yeah. And we're going to see that as he becomes the Red Ranger. Boom, segue.
Dude, I like it.
Yeah.
That was sick.
So once the team discovers the Zeo Crystal, Tommy was chosen to become the Zeo Ranger 5, or Zeo Ranger 5 Red of the Zeo Rangers, and later the first Red Turbo Ranger of the Turbo Rangers. Doing so, he would control the Zeozord 5 Phoenix, the Red Battlezord, the Super Zeozord 5. I didn't like in Zeo how they're just like, you guys are fucking numbers and shapes. We're not putting any work into this.
The stars, the Megazord looked terrible. The whole star on his helmet looked like dog shit. Like, how do you see out of that, bro?
How do you see out of any of them?
Well, I mean, most of them I could see seeing out of them, but this one is just not even. His eyes are like half cut off.
And then for Turbo, he had the Red Lightning Zord, which was just like a cool looking car.
Yeah, he decided, fuck karate and chicks, I'm going to be into cars.
Yeah.
Like, cars for real. What is he in Zeo? Is he still, like, a big fan of, karate in that?
Yeah, I think he's still doing martial arts. They might have still been in high school in Zeo.
Zeo, I'm really
they were
iffy on.
So in Zeo, they're still in high school because that's their graduation happens at the end of Zeo. And Aisha is replaced by Tanya when she goes on her vision quest. And at the end of, at the beginning of Turbo, Tommy is, working for a different uncle at this racetrack, being a mechanic for these cars or whatever. And he's trying to be, a racer. So, yeah.
Yeah, he wants to be a pro racer. Mm-hmm. But he also wants to go to MIT.
He does go to MIT.
That dude. Yeah, he does. But I mean, yeah, the Red Turbo Ranger I liked a lot more because I feel like I was really into Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. Zeo was, There was something else. I think it was when Pokemon came out, so I
Mhm.
started getting into Pokemon really hard, and then
Yeah,
I
that
came
sounds
back
about
to
right.
Power Rangers with the Turbo.
I do not like Turbo. I like Zeo better than Turbo.
I have to
But
give it a
that I think
rewatch.
that so Turbo has the problem of they replaced all the characters that were left.
Well, Turbo just fucking sucks, and that little kid was an asshole. Fuck that kid.
Billy's gone, Tommy's gone eventually,
You
Cat's
bowl cut
gone,
fuck.
Adam and Tommy or Adam and Rocky are
Rocky
gone.
are gone. Yeah.
Yeah. So literally replace everyone that you're comfortable with. And the new characters are fine, but I was just like, okay, I don't these people aren't for me anymore. These are for a new class of Power Rangers fans.
Did they have a sixth Ranger in Zeo?
Yeah, the Gold Ranger
Oh yeah,
with
okay,
the
with
staff
Jason.
and the even harder visor to see through.
Yeah, but his shield was fire. I see. I
Yeah,
like the six Rangers. Those are usually some of my favorite
six Rangers
Rangers.
are usually the best. Yeah,
Turbo had a way better six Ranger than Zeo.
the Blue Centurion, is that who it was?
Yes, Blue
Yeah.
Centurion is that thug.
So Tommy, as the Zeo and Turbo Ranger, he used the Zeo Laser Blade, his Zeo V Power Sword, and the Defender Wheel, which is a whack ass little shield type of thing.
Defender wheel.
Yeah, it's like a little it's like Captain America's shield, but handheld. It's like much smaller. It's dumb. Dumb
I'm looking
AF.
this up right now. Oh
Yeah.
shit! I barely typed in Defender wheel and it was already up.
And then under Turbo, he had the Turbo Lightning Sword.
What the fuck?
I
It's a
told
wheel, dude.
I
It's like
told
a
you.
legit wheel.
And he had to use that as a shield.
How the fuck? In Zeo? That doesn't even make any sense. That'd be better for Turbo than Zeo. The fuck? This shit doesn't make any sense, man. Ugh.
Nothing ever does.
Not with Power Rangers.
So Tommy's the one that found the Zeo crystal under the wreckage of the command center and repaired it. Good for Tommy. Kimberly broke up with him using a Dear John letter, saying she had found love during her training. She's definitely banging the trainer, 100%, right?
Oh, yeah. Fuck yeah, dude. And Tommy's just like, well, guess I'll bang Kat. I had her on the side.
Yep. Boom.
Man, he really
Always got to
does.
keep something on the back burner.
He's kind of a dick in that regard, man. Strings these ladies along. And every other guy in school's like, dude, fucking pick something.
Billy's just over here like,
that.
come on. I'm 40. Doesn't anyone like me?
I feel bad though, because they bullied the fuck out of him.
Yeah, they did. No,
We're
not helping him here.
I wonder if Jason David Frank did that. That son of a bitch.
From what I've read, everyone fucking did.
Poor guy, Billy Cranston.
As in Billy crams tons of crayons in his ass.
Or dicks.
Sure, I mean that's not the joke from the Power Rangers movie, but you go there.
Is that the joke? I haven't seen the Power Rangers movie in like a year.
Yeah, that's the joke.
He shoves crayons in his ass.
Yeah. So Tommy, during the Zeo years, has a recurring dream about True of Heart. One day he bumped into a man named Sam who looked exactly like him. Tommy offered to drop Sam at home, where he found someone who looked remarkably similar to him. Just everybody out there running around looking like Tommy, apparently.
He's like, hey, dude, you look like me. What the fuck?
So Tommy stalks
dog.
him for a while. Reveals his name. Sam reveals his name to be Sam Trueheart. Told Tommy that once he completed his quest, the identity of the young man would be revealed. Tommy completes some quest. He's surprised to find out the young man is David Trueheart and his brother, and he has, as you said, the other half of the arrowhead. When they're put together, they control the power of spirits trapped within a hidden stone.
Yeah. They do that. Very weird, man.
Tommy introduces David to his friends and then beats his ass in a karate match, so David runs away.
He's like, check out this little bitch.
Captured by King Mondo for the arrowhead. Tommy gives him the arrowhead. Mondo double crosses him. Tale as old as time. Tommy finds his brother, gets him to safety. David's worried about Tommy. Tommy has to tell him, hey, it's cool. Red Ranger, I'm Tommy. We're good. And then Tommy gets the arrowhead back also, and the brothers decide to keep their halves separate, and we never see or hear from David ever again.
Literally.
Yeah.
David played by Jason David Frank's real life brother.
There you go. Guess he was not as good of an actor as JDF.
Yeah, they're like, get this fucking a-hole out of here. JDF fucking sucks too. So he must have been really shit.
Exactly. If he's worse than that.
Fucking awful, man. I think they just were struggling with this season because they didn't know what to do quite yet.
Yeah, they were kind of stuck, I think. And I think the licensing rights were up in the air at that time too.
That would make sense.
Of like which channels they're landing on and all that, because that shit went back and forth a ton.
Well, I mean, I would imagine with their explosion in popularity, you got to figure out who's getting that piece of the pie. You know, how that's going to break down.
During the Zeo years, Tommy is also instrumental in convincing Jason to become the Gold Zeo Ranger, replacing Trey of Triforia when he couldn't control his power anymore. So he brings Jason back into the fold.
That's a dope name. Trey of Triforia.
Yeah.
Dope.
So now let's shift into Turbo.
Fucking Turbo. I don't know why Tommy didn't beat the shit out of that Blue Ranger. Whenever he was an adult size, I'd beat the fuck out of him. Like, dude, you're annoying. Fuck out of here.
They should have had just one episode where, like, you know, the Divatox takes over, mind controls somebody or something, and everybody just gets to beat the shit out of Justin for a day.
Stop it! Fuck you.
Guys, I'm your friend, I swear. No, you're not.
You swear to me. Elbow.
Wait, are we talking Batman again? No, Batman, get the fuck out. It's Power Rangers. You don't know anything about it.
Grabs this little kid by his stupid blue fucking, spandex suit collar. Swear to me! What do you mean? Fuck you. Oh, man. I could totally do a parody movie.
Of just Batman. It just needs to be like all these random things happening, and then Batman coming in and goes, swear to me! And then, like, walking away.
Hey, are these TPS reports accurate?
You swear to me!
They're fucking accurate as shit, dude. Swear to me! Okay, man, they're accurate. I
like
swear.
That. All right, start writing the audio drama. I'm in as your Batman.
You got it.
Or the YouTube series. Do you know how to animate anything on YouTube?
Yeah. I'll call it the Red Turbo Zeo White Ninja Ranger
Batman.
Trevor of Triforia meets Batman at the office.
Yeah. So then, as they go into Turbo, trouble finds the Rangers again, obviously, when Divatox, a ruthless space pirate, decided to become a threat. A new source of power had to be found to stop her, and the Turbo Rangers are born.
Power Rangers Turbo,
and because they're now the Turbo Rangers, Tommy, out of nowhere, gains an interest in cars and begins to spend a lot of time at the racetrack.
He's like, I just fucking knew, fam. Like, I knew I was gonna be a fucking... It's in my blood, bro. That's why I'm red. The Turbo Ranger.
He doesn't attend their graduation.
Yeah, to go to a race.
Yeah. And so this is when he really started mailing it in, and he wouldn't be in very much of the episodes. But he would always, like, the Red Ranger would always show up to fight because the Sentai footage obviously includes the Red Ranger, but, like, Jason David Frank would just not be doing any of the other stuff ever.
They're like, dude, we're sick of you. He's so wooden, though.
Yeah. Well, I think he's fully mailed it in at this point.
Yeah, he's getting a check. He doesn't give a fuck.
Yeah. Which brings us to them passing the torch onto TJ and the others.
I feel like Jason David Frank, I feel like he barely was able to say this to a black man. Like rewatching it, it's just like it's like skinning his pinky. He's like, TJ, you're the fucking greatest, bro.
You're the Red Ranger, no. Piranhatrons abduct Tommy, bring him to a cave where Divatox is prepared to drop him into the vortex of eternal doom and sorrow.
That sounds so wonderful. They're like, hey, we're going to put you down there. He's like, psych. How about TJ, the black dude?
Yeah.
You get to be the Red Ranger now. Get in the hole.
Theodore J. Jarvis Johnson, TJ for short, saves Tommy. He's a teenage boy. He just happens to be passing through Angel Grove at this time. Tommy's impressed by TJ's dedication and bravery and owed his life to him. So when Tommy and the other Rangers are going to leave for college, Tommy chooses TJ as his successor.
Wouldn't that be some shit? You just help out this kid, and he's like, hey, I'm going to leave being the galaxy's defender on your back. I'm out of here, though, so have fun, idiot.
Before he becomes the Black Ranger, he makes one more appearance in Wild Force as the Red Ranger. the Forever Red episode, and he is instrumental in gathering up all 10 Red Rangers to help defeat the Machine Empire, who are trying to resurrect Serpentera. Tommy kind of leads that battle.
Well, I mean, that's when it really is established that he has that lore behind him as like the best ranger ever. Everyone's like, fucking, it's Tommy, bro.
Yeah. Well, and I think, like, we talked about how he was mailing in during Zeo and Turbo, but I think, like, coming back for stuff like that, this is one-off things, he was okay with after the fact.
Well, I mean, they're probably like, dude, here's 10 grand, just come back for 3-4 days.
Yeah, you don't even have to do like, we got the Sentai footage with all the Red Rangers. You just got to come back and like talk to this dude from Overdrive. Yeah, what is it, Operation Overdrive? Just talk to him for a few minutes. Yeah, he sucks at acting. He's worse than you, but just talk to him.
Well, at the same time, you don't even have to shave that soul patch either, bro. He's like, all right, fuck, I'm in. Saving, I'm in.
You got anything more on the Red Ranger version of Tommy?
Not really. These were like my least favorite Rangers. Yeah. I hated the fact that Tommy is like the perfect fit as the 6th Ranger, but the de facto leader of the team, whereas anytime he's absent, the Red Ranger is the leader of the team. You know what I mean?
Well, I think in most iterations, and we talked about this on the other episode, I believe the Red Ranger is usually the leader.
Right. That he's the de facto leader all the time. And I get that Tommy is already the de facto leader, but making him the Red Ranger just feels dumb to me.
Yeah, but also at the same time, like, you can't have Rocky out there being the Red Ranger.
No,
he can't be the leader.
I'd rather have Tommy be like the Teal Ranger or the Purple Ranger or some shit.
I don't remember. Different. Oh, it was the Blue Centurion. I was gonna say I don't remember what the 6th Ranger was from Turbo.
Yeah, the Blue Centurion.
Yeah, and the Silver Centurion, I think, made an appearance too.
I mean, everybody's got a doppelganger brother.
So let's talk about the Black Ranger. This should be quick. After he's retired his power to TJ, graduates from college at MIT, as you mentioned, he discovers the Dino Gems and becomes a teacher at Reefside High, becoming the Black Dino Ranger of the Dino Thunder Rangers. He controls...
I was into this one.
What's that?
I was into this one. I watched a lot
like Dino Thunder.
They actually... I mean, the choreography is amazing, and the effects are amazing considering what they were back in the 90s. Shit, it's unreal.
I really like the storyline with, I think his name's Ethan and Mesogog, and like his name's not Ethan. What is it? Mercer,
yeah.
Yeah, Mercer's their last name. I can't think of the kid's
becomes Mesogog.
Yeah, Alan Mercer becomes Mesogog. The White Ranger, though, is his son. It starts with an E, and I can't think of it right now. I'm sure I have it in my notes somewhere where I'll go.
Eobard.
Not Eobard.
Damn
There's no Thawne.
Get the fuck. I'm glad you got my reference.
I did.
This is why we do this show.
So he controls several Zords as the Black Dino Thunder Ranger: the Brachiozord, the Cephalozord, the Dimetrozord, Stegozord, Parasaurozord, and the Ankylozord. They just have all these kind of auxiliary Zords that each of them can control at different times, which is what was going on in Dino Thunder. But the Brachiozord was his main Zord, and he also controlled the Brachiostaff as his weapon, which is a whack-ass weapon.
Yeah, I mean, for real. But in the hands of Tommy, my boy,
oh my
shit
God,
is unreal.
It's like in a Bourne movie, the guy that gets to say, oh my God, it's Jason Bourne. That's like whoever in the crossover episodes, whoever gets to say, Tommy's here. Same flow there.
I mean, yeah, I agree 100%.
Thanks.
And he's their teacher too at the same time. They're like, oh fuck, I don't know what to do. He's kind of tight. He's a Power Ranger, but at the same, that would be an awkward position to be in as a student of his.
Yeah.
And as like a, because he's the de facto leader. He's Tommy. He's like the best Ranger ever.
It's Tommy, man. So yeah, after he goes to college, at MIT, gets his doctorate in paleontology. Obviously, he's got a fascination brought on by his early days with the dinosaur-inspired Mighty Morphin Power Ranger teams. He's researching fossils, and he finds the red, blue, and yellow dino gems, remnants of an asteroid which killed the dinosaurs 65 million years ago. Learns of the power of the gems contained. He knew they would be misused, and he hides them. During his time, he meets Haley Zictor, who helped him create the Dinomorphers, which could harness the power of the Dino Thunder Power Rangers. And he was also partners with Terrence Smitty Smith and Dr. Anton Mercer. I think I called him Alan, but it's Anton. Very bad at the Mercer's names, apparently. on
Son of a bitch.
dinosaur-related projects that would lead to the creation of the Tyrannodrones, Raptor Riders, and the Biozords.
So he's basically Zordon Musk.
Yeah, he's definitely the Zordon of the Dino Thunder because he's a teacher at this Reefside school. These three kids get detention. Connor McKnight, Ethan James, and Kira Ford. They unravel Tommy's past as a Power Ranger after uncovering 3 artifacts from his lab and turn them into Power Rangers. Tommy recruits these students to become the Dino Thunder Rangers, doing so while seeming mysterious and somewhat obnoxious, as noted by Connor. When he discovered that Mesogog was still active, he stole another Dino Gem from Mesogog and joined the other Rangers as the Black Dino Thunder Ranger, which he got the power of invisibility.
Fucking cheap. I'll say that 100%. But also 6th Ranger. He's dope.
No, he's the fourth
Ranger.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I get
Trent.
it. But...
Trent is his name. Trent Mercer becomes the White Ranger and is technically the 6th Ranger, but he's only the 5th Ranger. They only have 5 in Dino Thunder.
Cheap.
I think that's a trend that started then. I think they maxed out at 5 after that. I could be wrong.
I think they just didn't want to pay people.
I mean, they're going off Sentai footage too, though, right? If the Sentai seasons only have 4 or 5, then you got to go with what they have.
Trent Mercer's White Ranger looks way better than the original White Ranger.
Than like Tommy's White Ranger?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Looks doper.
Oh, I love Trent Mercer as the White Ranger. That's my favorite part of his pull because he knows his father's Mesogog, but he's also working with the Power Rangers. Like that pull between him is what makes Dino Thunder so compelling and why I like it. It's one of my top seasons that I actually enjoy.
Yeah. That's a prototype Draken outfit for sure.
Yeah, true. So then later an experiment sees the return of Tommy due to his natural state. This is after he gets frozen in morphed mode for a while. And so now an experiment brings him back and he can go back and forth. But that puts him into a coma now. So he goes from frozen and morphed into a coma. During this time, he has to endure 3 internal battles facing off against 3 of his past Ranger egos, Green and White Rangers, and the Red Zeo Ranger. During each of these fights with those Rangers, the screen is tinted to match the color of that Ranger, which was pretty cool. That's a really cool episode. He goes back and has to fight these different versions of himself. It's a good episode.
Yeah. Yeah, it is a pretty good episode, actually. I enjoyed it out in the wilderness.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I enjoyed it.
After he proves he will not give up the fight for his life, his opponents each offered him a shattered piece of a Dino Gem, and that wakes him up and now gives him the power of Super Dino Mode.
Super Dino Mode.
Tommy decides he's going to pursue the simple life of a high school science teacher after he defeats Mesogog, finally retiring as a Power Ranger for good. However, no Power Ranger, even Tommy, can escape the power forever, and he does come back in a couple more crossovers like the legendary battle I mentioned earlier.
Yeah, I mean, he'll never get away from Power Rangers.
Well, he was
ever.
Even in Power Rangers, the movie. Him and, what's her name? Amy Jo Johnson were there.
Dude, I don't even remember.
They're in the crowd after the Zords defeated Goldar and everything. They're in the crowd clapping.
Yeah!
Yeah.
Woo!
Alright, so let's talk about Lord fucking Draken. Do you have anything else on Black Ranger, Tommy?
I don't.
Okay.
Lord Draken.
Let's talk about Lord Draken.
Fuck yeah.
So his early history follows the same events as Tommy Oliver from Prime Continuity up until the climactic final battle against Red Ranger of his timeline, Jason Lee Scott. In this pivotal event, Tommy was freed from Rita's curse, but instead of allying with Zordon and the Rangers, he fled, wandering from city to city while evading pursuit from the Power Rangers.
He starts turning bad.
Yeah. So he first appears in the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers Boom Studio Comics. Issue 4, Lord Draken appears in voice only, and then he appears actually on the page in issue 9. He makes appearances in the run. He makes a lot of appearances in the run of Mighty Morphin Power Rangers and Go-Go Power Rangers series, and served as the main villain in the Shattered Grid arc, which we're going to talk a lot about. He's appeared in the tabletop RPG Power Rangers Hyperforce as one of the villains there. And I think they ran that as a YouTube series, but I've never been able to find the video behind it.
Really?
Yeah. because Jason David Frank plays the part of Draken at some point in this Hyperforce series when it's just like these guys playing this Dungeons and Dragons type RPG with Power Rangers.
I know they did a live action little bit.
They did like a trailer for it.
He looks sick.
Yeah. And then he appeared as the main villain in the video game Power Rangers Battle for the Grid, and the video game follows pretty much the same story beats as Shattered Grid, but it's a fighting game like Mortal Kombat, so there's not like much of a story there.
No, I mean there's not much in Power Rangers either, but more than in that game.
I don't know, man. Dino Thunder was a deep fucking story. I kept trying to just watch parts of it when we were leading up to that first Power Rangers episode, and I just wanted more. I had to watch the whole thing. I kept just trying to jump through episodes, and I kept going, what is going on with these people? I need to know the story here.
I must know.
I gotta know.
No.
So Draken took on 3 different evolutions in style. First, he was like a mix of Tommy's white and green ranger forms. And then in the second iteration, he had some more black and some armored gauntlets. And then evolution 3 is all black with gold armor and red trim and a sweet ass cape.
Yeah, it's fucking sick. Lord Draken is probably the coolest looking Power Ranger on the face of the earth.
Yeah, and I think a lot of that is, well, he's a Power Rangers exclusive character. Like, there's no Sentai to back him up. And the design was made in comics instead of on screen, so it's a lot easier to draw something than it is to, like, make a real costume. At least I would think so.
Oh, yeah. And I mean, well, it's easier to come up with that initial idea because your imagination can really just fly.
Right, and then they evolved it over 30 issues, too.
Oh, yeah. And it's the most intimidating costume by far, I think.
But yeah, that Draken run, like the original Draken run, is pretty much, you got to read Mighty Morphin Power Rangers 1 all the way through like Mighty Morphin Power Rangers 30, I think it is, and you get kind of the full Draken story there. If you just read Shattered Grid, you kind of miss the first fight with Draken, and then he comes back and starts fucking with the Morphin Grid. So yeah, if you, and that's all we're only gonna cover up to the end of Shattered Grid, because he does come back later. But I haven't read any of that, so I don't know what happens to him, and I didn't want to read the Wikipedia on it because, like, that's something I just want to learn by reading the comics.
Right. I don't want it to be spoiled for me.
Yeah, exactly. So we won't spoil it for you either. Lord Draken uses the Dragon Dagger and a broken Saba. He just snaps the head right off.
I thought he, like, mind controlled Saba to a certain degree.
No, Saba was about to kill him. And he broke out of his imprisonment and just snatched him out of the air, snapped his head off, and then teleported out of there.
He's like, psych, bye.
Yeah. I think he mind controlled Ninjor.
Yes.
So in becoming Draken, while he's out just wandering around, Rita intercepts him and persuades him that her cause is important, and tells him all these tales of a young man named Draken from her alien planet she saw potential in and tried to forge his own legacy under her guidance. Tommy believes that Rita meant to make the world a better place through conquest, so Tommy helps Rita in taking over Earth one city at a time. Eventually, Tommy led Rita's forces into one final battle against Zordon's last battalion of Rangers and Zords, just as Zordon was on the verge of creating a new Power Ranger more powerful than any before, which he's actually turning Jason into the White Ranger at that point. Tommy busts into the command center and interrupts the process of Jason getting turned into the White Ranger. Tommy and Jason fight. Tommy stole the new power for himself, emerges from the command center clutching Jason's shattered helmet. And this is when he's got a mix of the green and white costume going on.
It's sick too.
It really is.
That picture is fucking sick.
It's really good.
I mean, they did all those covers with him, like, holding each Ranger's helmet.
Mm-hmm.
Super good.
So Tommy and his forces then move on, defeat the other Rangers, destroy the Zords, successfully conquer Earth in Rita's name. And then immediately after the Rangers are vanquished and Rita taught him her spells, such as brainwashing, the sorceress was met with an unforeseen outcome. Tommy became so corrupted that he sought to control the world by himself and killed her.
He starts killing everybody.
Yeah. He did vow to continue her work and kills her, gained the loyalty of Finster, and kills
Finster
Alpha
5.
and mixes Finster with Alpha to create Finster 5, which is like this. That was the thing I didn't understand most going through it, because that happens off page. And you're just like, what the fuck? Why is Finster infused with Alpha's body?
Why is he like so in love with Tommy too? That's the other thing I didn't get. It was like, what the fuck?
Who
man?
wouldn't be? He's dreamy, man.
I mean, that's right. Lord Draken's got all the power. Got that big dick energy. That BDE.
So now he's christened himself as Lord Draken. He draws upon the power coin energies and creates all these Ranger sentries, each serving a very specific role in his army. He only could never get Billy's coin because Trini hid it away from him. And the rest of the Rangers that are out there, they form this alliance called the Coinless and still try and fight, which is a pretty cool thing.
Yeah, I mean, they still try to sabotage and do all kinds of neat stuff and basically try to stay one step ahead of Draken. Yeah. It works to a certain degree. You got like 10 Rangers working together and he's just pretty much bulldozing everybody. And he's nipping at their heels the whole time.
Oh, absolutely.
But they use a lot of sabotage in the form of, what is it? Is it Bulk or Skull? Who infiltrated?
Yeah, Skull. Skull becomes one of these sentries. And so at some point, I believe from Prime continuity, it's Tommy, Trini, and Zach, I want to say, get transported into Draken's timeline. And they fight him a little bit. They help the Coinless along the way. And they defeat him. And in his defeat, they get sent back to their universe. But Draken also gets pulled into the Prime timeline. And he is then captured by the U.S. government agency and kept locked away on the Promethea complex, which later becomes the ship that Power Rangers in Space use, I believe.
Yeah, Lost in Space.
Yeah. So Saga comes in to execute him as he's trapped in Promethea, but fails, and Draken rips off Saga's head using the remains of the weapon with an incantation he presumably learned from Rita to create a portal and escape prison. And him like grabbing Saga and ripping the head off was one of the most brutal things to read in that comic.
I mean, that whole comic was brutal as shit, man.
It really was.
It's just tough to see Tommy doing all this terrible, terrible shit.
Yeah.
Well, he's evil too at the same time, but it's like, man, Tommy? For real?
Tommy!
It's fucking my boy.
Oh shit,
Tommy.
that's Tommy.
That's my boy. Hey, Tommy, meet me at the North Square.
And that's kind of where Shattered Grid starts. Draken convinces Ninjor to repair the broken Morpher, captures him, and helps him with all these later uses of Ranger power sources that he starts stealing. He breaks into the command center to steal the green Chaos Crystal, ambushes Prime Timeline Tommy, and stabs him in the back right in front of Kimberly as the pink Time Force Ranger tries to get there in time to save him and does not. But, like, honestly, you've got a fucking time machine.
Yeah, I mean, you're a Time Force Ranger. Enforce the timeline.
Yeah, you're from,
bitch.
like, 3032, and you couldn't go back 5 minutes earlier?
The fuck?
I know she couldn't because there's some, like, weird stuff with the morphing grid, and she had, like, they had to pull this weird maneuver to get just in the right place at the right time, and then their time travel was broken or whatever, but come on, man.
There was so much shit. I reread it twice.
Yeah.
Because I woke up super early on a camping trip, and it was I was confused.
Well,
There's a lot going on.
I grabbed Shattered Grid, the TPB of Shattered Grid, just thinking like, okay, this will tell me about Draken. That's what I want. I've played the Battle for the Grid game. I like the idea of Draken. I just want to learn more about him. So I grabbed that, and I start reading, and it starts right with the Time Force Rangers out there just flying around, and I'm like, what the hell is going on? And then all of a sudden she's back, and Draken is killing Tommy, and that's like the first 10 pages of this book, and I'm like, hold on. I am missing so much context here.
Yeah.
And I ended up going back to Mighty Morphin Power Rangers 1 and just being like, I can read 25 comics to get to this point.
It'll take me, 2 hours.
It was during NFL season, so like I like to sit there and read on my tablet while I have Red Zone on.
There you go.
That usually works. And now I think I'm going to continue on. I'm going to read the Power Rangers versus Turtles first, and then I think I'm just going to continue the Mighty Morphin run just straight after Shattered Grids ends.
I'm kind of there myself because they're legit.
It seems like there's
comics.
A lot of good stuff going on in them, and like I'm interested in it.
The art's unreal too.
Yeah, really good. So Draken, after he kills Tommy, he sets out to conquer other Rangers teams and take their power and connection to the morphing grid for his own. At one point, he goes to the Zeo era and impersonates Zero era Tommy, and he becomes disgusted with how much Tommy was respected by the other Rangers. He steals Adam's Zeonizer and murders Zeo Tommy. So at this point, he's just trying to kill all the Tommies out there.
He fucking hates himself.
Yeah.
He's like, why does everyone like you, but they don't like me? Probably because you're killing everyone, guy.
So Draken's out there trying to take as many powers from as many teams as he can get. Zordon, on the other hand, is trying to rally as many Rangers as he can get before Draken gets to him to steal their power, so they can build kind of their own super team to defeat Draken. It's like LeBron going to the Heat.
And then going back to the Cavs.
Right, and then going to the Lakers.
There you go. I like it. That's a good analogy.
Yeah.
It's solid.
Zordon is just LeBron.
Zordon is Eric Spoelstra.
There we go. So then they get to a final battle. He is able to nullify a number of Draken is able to nullify a number of Rangers' powers before Kimberly strikes him with the Dragon Dagger, and that's Ranger Slayer Kimberly, I believe. She comes out of nowhere too, because she's off having her own adventure this whole time that I haven't read about, and then she just pops back up in book like 27.
Well, she like breaks the spell too,
right?
And figures things out.
Because at first she joins
Draken's got to go.
Yeah.
Well, she's they're fucking banging and killing people.
I think
they're
her story all takes place in the
Clyde.
Go-Go series, which is not the one I read.
I've seen it on the shelf and I've flipped through it. I've never read it though.
So suddenly he finds himself weakened and returns to his throne room to find Zordon, Kruger, and Rita there. Rita using the green candle to steal his powers. However, Finster 5 ambushes the trio and tries to save Draken one last time. He becomes gravely concerned about his desire to use all the morphers in his possession, but Draken now murders Finster 5 also.
It's ridiculous.
Hooks him up to his device and fully empowers himself. And this is where I got fucking lost reading this book. Because we just jump into the next book and he's a superhero.
He's literally a god.
Yeah, I just called this section God Draken.
Yeah, I mean, he's Godkin.
So what happens, they don't do this chronologically in the book. You have to figure it out as you read through it. But chronologically what happens is he enters, at that point when he hooks himself up, he enters the morphing grid, dispatches the Emissaries 3 before finding and taking the Heart of the Master, using it to destroy the multiverse and just build his own new world where he's fucking Superman. So yeah, he builds a world. He's a Superman-like figure. Zordon and Rita are his parents, and Kruger is his dog.
So
good
fucked
job,
up.
Kruger.
It's like they're like, okay, how would Nero of ancient Rome act as a Power Ranger? And then they put it on page.
Yeah.
It's
Which,
insane.
I mean, good job. Like, that's what they were going for. The city is protected by Jen Scotts and Lauren Shiva, who I believe is from Samurai Power Rangers. Billy's a mechanic. Finster 5 is his loyal butler. Zach and Trini are reporters. And Kimberly is a lowly waitress. Man, now he hates Kimberly too.
He's doing her dirty.
Yeah.
Like, listen, wench.
So during all this, Draken finds himself being haunted by the specter of Tommy, taunting him and telling him that he knows this world is wrong and that he is a pathetic man for creating it. This allows him his grip on the world to weaken enough so that Tommy can resurrect himself. Jesus, he's doing it. Rescue the emissaries 100%. Before rescuing his teammates.
I mean, he's fucking Jesus. It's the whole arc. Jesus when he first appears in the Bible, and then 30 years later when he comes back. There you go.
So Tommy gathers up the team. Draken realizes there's something going wrong. They lead to a struggle. Tommy grabs the Heart of the Master. They get pulled inside of the heart, battling briefly before Tommy defeats Draken, telling him that the reason he lost was because he couldn't stomach the idea that in an entire multiverse of Tommys, he was the only one who was pure evil. With Draken pulled away from the heart, his world began to fall apart. Tommy offers him one last chance to survive and come with him, but Draken refuses, staying with his broken worlds as it collapsed around him, presumably ending him once and for all.
Never.
As I said, Draken actually lives on, but we haven't gotten that far, so we're not going to talk about it.
That's fair.
I want to, I'm just not there yet.
Yeah, I'm kind of in the same boat.
So that brings us to the big question. Do you think we're ever going to see Lord Draken on screen?
Yes, I do think so. I just don't think it's going to be Jason David Frank. unfortunately.
Yeah, I don't know that he could. So the problem with it not being Jason David Frank is it would be tough for someone else to fill those shoes, right?
I think if they put some money into it, if they did a movie,
Well, so yeah,
which would be the way to go, you could de-age him slightly.
Yeah,
it would look terrible,
I think you do a movie, right? And you
It would
have
have to be a movie.
I think like where Beast Morphers and Dino Charge are, those seem so far removed to Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, and it would be like really weird to bring Tommy back into the world that like Beast Morphers and Dino Charge exist in. And like I don't think you can tell the whole Shattered Grid storyline anywhere because it'd be too hard to get all these people together, and if Sentai footage doesn't exist, it'd be very difficult, and there's no Sentai footage on Draken, obviously.
Yet.
So
they're gonna take all these ideas.
Maybe bring them back.
I fucking hope.
Yeah, I don't know how many of these real actors would be down with coming back or how they could fit Sentai footage. I mean, they did it with Legendary Battle, but I think it would be something different for something like Shattered Grid. It would be very difficult. But I like your idea of a movie because
I mean, it would have to be.
We're gonna get a new reboot of movies, right, at some point. And I think what you do is you have them all teenagers again. You have a different actor as Tommy the Kid, right? As 15-year-old, 16-year-old Tommy.
Better.
Yeah, hopefully.
Someone from Stranger Things, probably.
Obviously. Finn Wolfhard coming in as Tommy.
Dude.
Write it down.
He need to put on like 20 pounds of muscle. But yeah, I can see that.
But then I think you bring Jason David Frank in as Draken as the main villain. But they don't know where Draken's come from. You know, you kind of tell the first part of his story where he's an alternate timeline version of Tommy and the Rangers just have to defeat him. You don't do all of Shattered Grid. You just this is what happens if Tommy turns evil. And these new Rangers, these 6 Rangers have to face that with young Tommy, and young Tommy now has to decide what path he's going to take, you know.
That'd be sick, dude. That'd be awesome.
You know, or you come up with a whole new story. Just so we could see, like, the costume is what people want to see from Draken, I think. The story's good, but I think the story only works in comics because you can get so convoluted in comics that you can't do on screen.
I want to see him fight all the other Rangers. Like, that choreography would be super dope.
Yeah. They definitely have to have a different stuntman if Jason David Frank is doing, like, the voice work or whatever.
Yeah.
Or any unhelmeted action.
Someone that doesn't shake their head violently all the time.
All right, so we agree. Next movie, let's make Draken the bad guy.
Love it.
All right, so Nick, what would you do? What is your favorite? We kind of covered this, but what is your favorite version of Tommy Oliver?
The White Ranger, for sure. White Ranger, especially the movie version.
Yeah, with the
metallic
armor.
The costume's the sickest. That's the best acting. I love it. I mean, he goes fucking ham, and I love the hard plastic, like the metallic-y nature of it. It's actually looks like armor instead of just a fucking onesie with a hard helmet on, onesie with a hard hat, and it's his best acting. You made a great point. By far, I think that's his best outing as an actor, which isn't saying much.
I have a tie. It's Lord Draken, and like I get it, it's evil Tommy. That's not the best version of Tommy because he's evil, but that characterization of Lord Draken and this different journey. I always love an alternate timeline story of this different journey he could have taken and where that led, and how this power corrupts him and everything. And really, at the end of the day, what he wants is to be loved by everybody. He wants to rule over the world, but he wants to do that with everybody looking up to him, which is not something he actually did in becoming Draken. He made everyone fear him instead. So I kind of like that pull of good is still in Draken, and he just doesn't know what to do with it. He doesn't know how to focus that because he never teamed up with the Rangers. So I like that dichotomy of Tommy's, and that's why I like Draken. And again, the outfit is dope.
I mean, yeah, that's definitely number 2 in my point of view. Only reason is I just grew up with the White Ranger.
Yeah,
but I think
I agree with all your points on the White Ranger too.
The depth of Lord Draken is far superior to any iteration of Tommy Oliver beforehand.
Well, and you get that when you write, 30 issues on this guy instead of like these BS. Yeah, there were 150 episodes in the first 3 seasons of Power Rangers, but like they're not putting character work into any of that.
Well, you don't need to.
There's like
in the comics,
8 episodes. In those 3 seasons, there's like 8 episodes of character work.
Right, and I mean, but the thing with comics is you can cross that line. Like, what if Tommy was a bad guy?
Right.
I mean, I think that's people have been. I mean, you saw it with the first iteration of Power Rangers and Mighty Morphin. They just took it to the nth degree,
right?
Which
you can always,
about time someone did.
In comics, you can always just spin off too, right? If something works good, you just spin that off into its own book, and you keep the regular continuity going that you want, and you have this other side book, which is what they did with Ranger Slayer.
Right.
My other favorite version is Dino Thunder, I think, of Tommy.
It's a solid.
I liked Mentor Tommy. I think it's cool to see him as the guy that's been there before and teaching the new kids that it's kind of okay to fall down and you have to get back up. With a lot of these other Rangers mentors, they're like aliens or all-knowing beings, with this vast knowledge, or they're scientists with no knowledge of rangering. And, they can tell them how their powers should work, but they don't know anything about actually fighting crime. Or they're aliens who know everything about the power, but don't know how to tell them how to be human teenagers. And I think with Tommy, you get both of those things. He's been there before. He knows what it takes to be a ranger. He knows how the powers work. He can really affect these teenagers from a mentor standpoint, whereas Zordon can be like, well, here's how your powers work, and this is why this green candle is burning. But he can't be like, well, here's how you ask that girl out at school.
Right. I mean, the best coaches in any sport, for example, are the former players.
Mm-hmm.
For the most part, a familiarity of the game is essential, and I think Tommy brings that to the table.
Jason Kidd is just killing it as a coach. So.
I mean, fuck Jason Kidd. Tyronn Lue did all right.
Yeah, when you have LeBron, it makes your job a lot easier. But we're taking that to the extreme, and NBA players are often not good. People who are good, really good in the NBA, don't come back and are good NBA coaches. But the good NBA coaches, they played in college. They played at high level in college. They played at high level in high school. They know the game better. And even if they didn't play in the NBA, or they were the 10th man in the NBA, that makes them a little bit better as a coach, because they're kind of always observing,
No, they had to fight harder than anybody else too.
LeBron would be a bad coach because he's so good at basketball, everything is easy to him. And I'm not saying he doesn't work hard, but he works hard, but the game comes so easy to him, so he can't go up to somebody like LaMelo Ball and teach him how to be a better player.
I mean, you could try, but he'd probably get him all pissy.
All right, so what's the worst version of Tommy?
Let's say it at the same time. We'll go on 1, 2, 3, go.
Okay.
All right. 1, 2, 3, go.
Mighty Morphin White.
What?
No,
you son of a bitch.
I went with Turbo, but yeah.
I mean, yeah. Both red iterations
yeah.
of him are fucking whack, dude.
Yeah, I agree. This is easy. Turbo's one of the worst series of Power Rangers in all of history. Tommy does nothing to help. He's barely in the show. He turns his powers over to TJ in the first 15 episodes. And I've said it. He just felt like Jason David Frank felt like he mailed it in, and Tommy, anytime he was on screen, felt like Tommy was mailing it in. He didn't want to be a Ranger anymore. He was ready to move on with his life.
I mean, probably. He's like, dude, I got a car. I'm trying to get with these chicks, bro.
Chicks dig the car.
Yeah. I mean, you see this shit? It's bussing. Get this little ass kid out of here. He probably just doesn't want to be a Power Ranger with this fucking loser chili bowl fuck.
Well, yeah. Once Justin came in, everybody was like, hey, how do we get out of here? Fastest.
How much do I got to pay to get out of this contract?
Fucking Justin. Justin went to work for NASA when they went into space too.
Yeah, okay.
He helped launch him into space. Really, it was just so they didn't have to take him to space. They're like, yeah, you stay back with NASA, dude. We'll get you back.
It'd be so cool, buddy. You'll get to stay with NASA. You'll get some stickers and maybe a sucker. And he's like, yeah, guys. All right, cool. Fucking Justin.
Fucking Justin. Oh, Justin.
Oh, boy.
Do you have anything else to say on Tommy Oliver? Jesus, Tommy Oliver.
I don't, man. I think I beat that Tommy Oliver looking horse to death.
Look, we only went half as long on just Tommy as we did the entire run of Power Rangers, so I think that's good.
That's pretty remarkable. I could probably go 3 hours on Tommy.
We probably could have. I didn't even include all of the stories from the Wikipedia page.
There's so much shit on there, dude.
There really is.
There's so much shit.
And it's very hard to go all right, what's actually interesting and what is just something I remember and was like, oh yeah, that was cool.
I had fun with that. I mean, I read nonstop his entire. It took me like 30 minutes.
Yeah.
I'm a quick reader.
I'm not, and I was doing it while I was like waiting for things to load for work and stuff. I'd kind of keep switching back and forth, but yeah, Tommy, our boy.
Fucking Tommy Oliver. Let us know what you think about Tommy.
Yeah,
What's the best
if you
iteration?
think there's a better Ranger out there than Tommy, hit us up because you're wrong. Because Tommy's that dude. Nobody's going, oh shit, that's Rocky DeSantos.
Yeah, no one gives a fuck about Rocky.
Oh, Aisha's
like,
here.
Jason, Kim, what's up?
Apparently he married Kat at some point. Like that's the continuity.
Yeah, they have kids.
Yeah.
Or some shit. They do like a future episode.
They do a future episode, and they do, I think in Time Force, one of the Time Force like trainees is some long descendant of theirs.
Whack.
Yeah.
Dumb. He didn't end up with Kim. Dumb.
She's off there banging the gymnastics teacher, man.
You mean the gymnastics teacher's banging her?
Well, yeah. Let's move on from that. Thank you for listening. Be sure to check us out on Twitter. Share who your favorite Ranger is or which version of Tommy you like best. That's at APA something and at alone_podcast. Again, this show is coming to an end soon, and I will be moving on to the Magic Number is 3 podcast, where we will be breaking down just season 3 of various TV shows. You can check that out on Twitter right now at Magic3TV. There will be a pilot episode launching soon on all the cool podcasting platforms. You can always hear more from Nick on the You Are All Alone podcast. It's a lot of fun over there. And get all the information you want there at alonepodcast.com. And thank you very much for listening. You can buy our merch. It's still up there, tpublic.com.
Oh, yeah.
APA something. Just search that. You'll find it. And yeah, thanks to those cats for providing all the music for a podcast about something.
You gotta stay sassy.
Stay classy.